Above the world creator stand. And see the vowelation and the alliterations and all that in a single line. So the world now in universe, you have identified those immortals with this world creator. They are the formateurs of a new race, of a new creation, of a new world. They are typal beings which will produce their own kind here. Formateurs. The overmind gods are the formateurs. In the phenomenon, see the mystic soul. In the phenomenon, what is happening in the process of time, in that see, they see something which is really happening because of the high source, from the mystic source, the invisible things here. Above the world creators stand. So now I got this whole description about the world creators and the immortals. See what's going on. These heed not the deceiving outward blind. These world creators, these immortals, heed not, they don't care, impassive, deceiving outward play. They turn not to the moment's busy tramp. Yeah. They are not worried about small little day-to-day events like that, small skirmishes, fights, etc. They are not bothered. This is something. But listen with the still patience to the unborn. But listen with the still patience to the unborn. They carry that patience to the unborn in them. Yes, he has to take birth here. It is his patience waiting to be born. His patience waiting to be born. It is with that patience they are listening to what is happening here. They, the world creators, the immortal. But listen with the still, patience to the unborn. But listen with the still, third, patience, fourth, patience of the unborn. So you have got here patience of a dactyl and the unborn, an anapist. But listen is an am, with the is a pyrrhic, the still is an am, then patience of is a dactyl, long, short, the unborn, short, long, anapist. But listen with the still patience to the unborn. For the slow footsteps of far destiny, they are listening for the far destiny. Now, obviously, they listen with the still patience in the unborn God. Again, naturally, this cannot be the character of the immortals or the supermind. There is no question of pain. They are always there, see, is there. It cannot be the character. They are not going to listen to footsteps of far destiny. They are the creators of destiny. Why should they bother? Destiny is not being created by somebody else apart from them. So again, we can say that these immortals, these creators, the world creators, are the overmind gods. For the slow footsteps of the far destiny. For slow footsteps, again I said slow, obviously the evolution have a slow, so that every aspect of this creation is taken care of. For the slow footsteps of far destiny, approaching through huge distances of time. So that is what they are saying. Huge distance means it really takes, well, although they have put their mark on the trampled breast of life, they have put their mark on the trampled breast of life. They know that it is going to happen in the huge distances of time. It is not going to happen tomorrow like that. We are impatient, but they know that things have to be worked out in more detail because they have to take care of the slow. Approaching through huge distances of time, unmarked by the eye that sees effect and cause. Yeah, the eye that sees the effect and cause. That is our nature. We human beings. Unmarked. We can't mark them that they are seeing the far destiny and all that thing. But they see all that thing. The world created, they see, unmarred by the eye, unheard with the clamor of the human plane. Yeah, that is what happened. Attentive to an unseen truth, they see the sound of invisible augur wing. Attentive to an unseen truth. Yeah. Unseen truth by whom? By these eyes. By these eyes. By we people, we blind people, attentive to an unseen truth. They see the sound. They again, you can say immortals or the world creators. They see the sound of invisible augur wing, voices of an unplumbed significant, muttering that brood the cause of matters asleep, muttering that brood the cause of matters asleep. Attentive and unseen truth, yeah. There is a truth. Where is that truth is not present? Where is that truth not? Truth is not only in heaven, truth is there on the earth also, truth is there in the mortal world also, truth is there in the worlds down below also. Everywhere there is the truth of life, there is the truth of matter, there is the truth of mind, there is the truth of gods, truth of night, truth of inconscience. Where is that truth is not there? They hear, they see the truth of night, the purpose of night, of inconscience of this void. Sound of attentive and unseen truth, they see the sound of an invisible augur wing, augur wing. I don't know whether you have read that note or not, which I sent yesterday. Augur wing. Forecast on the signs of the birds. You forecast certain events. In the Roman era, there used to be official priests who would be able to read the signs of animals, of birds and creatures like that and tell whether it is good or whether it is bad. You see, you may say soothsayers or whatever you want to call them, you see. They were there. They were officially appointed as advisors to the kings at that time, you see. Augur wing. Augur wings, birds. The coming of the bird, the signs of the birds. If a certain bird is flying in a certain manner, they will be able to interpret what is going to happen here. See, there is a famous story, anecdote or whatever you want to call it, long ago, of course. A king was about to go on his hunting expedition. Hunting, everything is ready, all the paraphernalia, he is about to go out. So at the moment he is coming out, the king is going to get out of the court of his palace. A laundryman, Dhobi, he comes with his clothes on the laundry, on the donkey, and then he enters the court, and then he starts looking a little puzzled and that kind of a thing. The king is in a hurry to go and all that kind of a thing, you see. And then after some time the king asks, "What's the matter? Why you are puzzled? Why you are looking at me like that?" Then this Dhobi, this laundryman, he says, "Sorry sir, if I had to say something to you. I know that you are prepared yourself fully to go on a hunting expedition. But I can tell you that it is going to rain very heavily. It's going to rain very heavily and you will not be able to do hunting at all, you see." And then the king asked, "Yes, but how do you know that it's going to rain heavily like that?" Then he said that the way my donkey behaves in a certain manner, I can tell you whether it is going to rain or not. The augur me, I can tell you whether it is going to rain or not. So my donkey is behaving in a manner that I know definitely it is going to rain very heavily, shortly, you see, maybe today or tomorrow or whatever you see, and therefore your expedition will failure, you see. But the king didn't bother about it, you see. He went and then it really rained heavily. He was thoroughly disappointed. He came back to the palace afterwards without any hunting being done. And the next day he appointed all the donkeys as his forecasters in the Department of Meteorology. So anyway, in the Department of Meteorology, all that we got are only donkeys, you see. In spite of all the sophisticated instruments, you see. So these are the augur wings. These are the augur from the behavior of animals, from the behavior of birds, from the behavior of trees and animals. They can tell certain things like that. They have got a certain kind of identification with them, with those creatures. Well, that is the story of the augur. But the augur wings actually belongs to the Greek mythology. He is talking of wings specifically, the bird. And it refers in the Greek tradition, Greek mythology, to Zeus' eagle, the mighty eagle of Zeus. His appearance or his certain actions would predict the course of events. When the war was about to be waged between the Greek and the Trojans, all the Olympian gods had moved to Ida, from Olympus to Ida, there received. And then it was a sign of the eagle flying there that they had gone there. It is from the Mount Ida, then they observed all the events which were taking place in the ground here in Troy, and from there they could tell everything. So it is eagle who kind of told them, go to Mount Ida. So that is one description in Homer's Iliad. But there is another important description. See, Hector is in his full rampage. He is ravishing. He is pushing back the ships of the Greeks, the Greek ship, you see. They had a siege against Troy, but he was in rampage, and the Greeks would have been completely defeated at the hands of Hector and the Trojans at that time, you see. But then suddenly, the eagle from above, much above, from the stratosphere or whatever that thing is from the sky, he sees a serpent there somewhere on the ground. He sees a serpent there on the ground. It will swoop down below, picks up the serpent, goes up and drops the serpent on the Trojan field, where they are going to have the fight, as you see. At that time, the moment they see the serpent and all these things happening here, there is a debate between Hector and his consultants and army people. This doesn't seem to be a very happy omen that the serpent is falling on the battlefield here, you see. It doesn't seem to be a very happy omen, you see. But then Hector dismisses that thing completely. And he says, no, we are going to fight. Whatever may happen, we are going to fight. And the result was ultimately Hector was killed, and the Trojan War ends with that, so to say, you see. So, the falling of the serpent is something of that augur wing. The Zeus bird comes, the bird of omen comes and drops something. It depends now how you interpret it, how pure you are in interpreting the signs, and how well prepared you are to accept those signs. If you are colored by your own ambition, by your own desires, by your own calculations, then that omen has no meaning at all. See, once you are able to really see its purity, its proper meaning, then you should be prepared to abide by it. You should be able to prepare to abide by it. It doesn't normally happen in our case, you see. We are colored by our own ambition, by our own strength, by our own prejudices and things like that, and we sort of dismiss the omens. This happens everywhere. See, you go to temple and then worship and then something happens, you get an omen whether my son will pass or not. See, all kind of things that you see. And then you do all wrong things, you that you see. Attentive to an unseen, to they see a sound of it. They, of course, those immortals, those world creators, a sound as of invisible alchemy. So you can hear the sound of the future, these people. Voices of an unplumbed significance. See, if you have got a divine augur, then it has the unplumbed significance. It cannot be measured, its depth cannot be really measured at all. Muttering that brood in the core of matter sleep. Yes, matter is asleep, but then there is something lying deep in matter. What are the mutterings? Mutterings of this truth in matter, which is asleep. That truth which is there in matter is muttering that you can hear. What is the truth that you hear in matter sleep? Yes, I am not divine yet, or rather I am not sufficiently divine yet, but that does not mean that I should always remain with that insufficient divinity in me. There is a kind of a small urge, a persistent urge, a desire, a yearning, a longing. I shall find my own truth. Matter shall find its own truth. That urge is there in matter. That urge is expressing something all the while. Who can hear? We cannot hear. But this augur wing, the divine omens are there in matter also. If you are able to hear, then you know how to really deal with matter properly, you see. Attentive and unseen to this hear a sound of invisible augur wing, voices of an unplumbed significance, muttering that brood in the core of matter sleep.